The only thing we talked about was the fact that you did not want to be in Fayette County Jail and you wanted a court date so you can get out of jail. Is that fair?
No, we was in there for a long time.
Right. And we never discussed the facts of the case. Correct?
See, you talking, I think I'm more talking to Miss Love. And you was just, because I just remember you just kept standing there and you trying to act like somebody in the hood.
All right, here we go.
Good morning, Mr. Copeland.
Good morning.
On cross-examination last week, do you recall speaking with Doug Weinstein about your knowledge of God and knowing that God is in your heart? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Weinstein asked you if with God in your heart, that is what you were thinking about when you raised your hand and took the oath. Do you remember him asking you that?
I don't get what you're saying.
Sure. Last week, Mr. Weinstein asked you when you took the oath to testify, if you had God on your mind. Do you remember him asking you that?
Yes.
Okay. And you said he wasn't on your mind, he was in your heart. Do you remember that?
God, yes.
Okay. And you and I have had discussions about God. Is that fair to say?
Yes, we have.
Okay. And he asked you, Mr. Weinstein asked you, with God in your heart, is everything that you testified to in trial the truth now? Do you remember him asking you that?
I guess, yes.
Okay. But that's not actually accurate, is that, Mr. Copeland?
Uh-oh.
What?
What you mean?
That everything that you testified to in court while you've been here isn't all true. Is that fair to say?
Dang, did she just say this to this man? God's not in his heart? Ooh-wee.
I don't get what you're asking.
Is that what she's saying?
You say, is everything I testify is true?
Yes.
To my understanding, it's true.
Okay. Well, I want to
good answer.
Play for you State's Exhibit 399Y, which is your testimony from a few weeks ago with you and I talking about your ability to read, okay?
To read?
Yes.
Oh, no. We knew this was going to happen. I joked about this last week, about it being the miracle that little Woody can read all of a sudden. I had a feeling this was going to come up. She's mad. Miss Hilton is upset right now. You can hear it. Yeah, it's a miracle. He could read. He could see. Woody. He told them there's a liar. They decided to put a liar on the stand. That's on you, State.
We're just waiting for the Zoom. Not waiting for the Zoom.
I got to put this poll in. I'm going to ask y'all a question real quick.
I need to put the headphones on?
Yes, please.
Good morning, Young. Good Lord. I mean, are we going to ever get into it? Goodness gracious. We got delay on top of delay on top of delay. It's the state's turn, so we're not surprised here. Good God. Thank y'all for liking the video, too.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's already been admitted as State's Exhibit 332Y.
I can hardly hear it.
Now looking at
It's not playing right here.
where we stopped it. At State's Exhibit 332Y, do you see on here where it says Hertz rental record?
I can't read.
Okay, so you can't see anything on that page?
I can't read.
Okay. Do you see the name Jeffrey Williams? Now, do you remember telling me that you couldn't read?
Right.
Okay.
Y'all
Can I
think
speak
Woody's
on
gonna?
it?
Y'all think Woody's gonna get arrested
All right.
for perjury?
There was no explanation of that. I think she's going to ask him another question, and you can. We'll see. We'll see where it goes from there.
This is crazy. I've never seen anything like this.
Go ahead, Miss Hilton.
I'm showing defense counsel some exhibits.
Yeah, but even so, I see y'all saying in the chat that he told them that he was a liar. You can't be lying on the stand though. I don't care who you are. I can't tell if I don't care if you're the greatest liar that ever lied, which Woody's probably up there. You can't lie on the stand. Immunity could be gone. He could be put in jail for lying on the stand, and he could be held liable for everything that he said in his testimony if they revoke his immunity. It ain't great. Good morning, Javi. Miss Hilton, what are we doing? We still have a delay. God dang. She said earlier when she was talking to the judge, she thought today was Tuesday. All right, Candace, we'll catch you on when you get back. So Woody's taking a little break. We've got another break already. And then we're getting back. Okay. Jeez. Good morning, John. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your service. Yeah, as long as it's not a bold-faced whopper, right, Kyrese? That's what Judge Glanville said. You can lie, just make sure it's not a bold-faced whopper. It's not looking great, Jennifer. Good morning, Mr. Tesla. Jennifer said he told them he lied. Please don't put him in jail. He has been through enough. I mean, some of it was self-inflicted, Jennifer. Let's be real. That man was singing. Looking like the second coming of Aretha Franklin over there.
Mr. Cook, I'm going to show you Mr. Martin State's Exhibit 401. Why? First time if you recognize State's Exhibit 401, why?
You said, have I recognized him?
Yep.
Yeah, but Jordy, it's not going to be hard if you've got videos of him saying one thing.
Yes.
Do you see your signature
And then another.
on the back page?
Yes.
All right. And do you see that date of December 13, 2018?
Yes.
Okay. And does it say plea of guilty form?
What's up, Bobby T?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Is this the plea of guilty form you filled out when you took the plea to theft by receiving stolen property back in 2018?
Miss Hilton is so annoyed right now.
Can you say it again?
Sure. Is this the plea of guilty form that you had to fill out when you took the plea to theft by receiving stolen property in 2018?
I guess.
All right. I'm also now showing you State's Exhibit 402Y. Do you see your name on there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see your signature when you signed and date this on August 12, 2013?
I see that date.
Okay. Do you see your signature?
Oh, yes.
What's up, Martavius?
You fill this out when you took your plea in 12 SC 110195, which was your enter an automobile plea.
I guess.
I guess, is that your signature?
What?
On the second page.
I guess.
All right. I'm also showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 403Y. Do you see your name on here?
Yes.
Do you see the petition of bond that you filled out while in jail trying to get a bond?
Mm-mm.
You saying I filled it up?
Did you write this from the Fulton County Jail?
This I wrote that, but not that.
So you didn't write your petition for bond?
No, that's not in my handwriting.
Okay. Well, I'm showing you State's Exhibit 404Y. Do you see this letter that you wrote from the Fulton County Jail?
Again, that's not my handwriting.
Okay. Do you see that this was sent by you from the Fulton County Jail?
That's my handwriting.
This is your handwriting, but you didn't write this in this. Okay.
Yes.
Looking at State's Exhibit 401 and 402, Your Honor, the state would like to admit 401 and 402Y as evidence.
Admitted.
Do you see here on page 4?
This is not
you have
good.
the right. Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language? You said yes.
Yes.
All right. Also, here on your plea of guilty form, are you able? Can you read, write, and understand the English language? You said yes, correct?
Right.
All right, and that's what you signed and dated, correct?
I guess.
All right. And last week, do you remember when Mr. Steele put before you the murder warrants in this case? You were able to read the murder warrants in this case?
I don't remember reading that.
Okay. Do you remember when Mr. Shard asked you to read that dismissal form that when your case was dismissed in early this year, that you were able to read that?
He read it for me.
Do you remember reading it yourself?
I remember listening to him and agreeing to, because he reading it for me in front of everybody, so I assumed that what he reading is on there.
Is it the only time that you couldn't read when I had to put something in front of you that dealt with
It's a different, like, that's why I just asked, because I explained to you.
what would you like?
Reading and understanding is different. Like, you putting papers in front of me, like, you read that stuff?
Okay. So
Do y'all believe Woody? Can he read?
You did not read anything last week when Mr. Steele and Mr. Shard gave you documents to read.
He said, did I read anything last week?
Yes.
I don't. Just looked at the papers. He reading it in front of everybody, so I'm assuming whatever he reading, it got to be on there because he in front of the courts.
Okay. Now,
Woody's doing a good job answering these questions. I'm
that
not gonna
wasn't
lie.
the only thing that you have not been honest about with this jury now that you've testified. Is that fair to say?
What you mean?
On cross, do you remember Mr. Steele and Mr. Shard asking you about the gang meeting with Mo the day before Nut died?
All right, I gotta stop it here because this is getting on my nerves. And Javier LaFleur reminded me of this. He said, "What's going on here? They trying to put Woody back in jail by showing he lied." How many times in the past 3 weeks? I'm gonna give y'all 3 weeks. How many times in the past 3 weeks have y'all heard Young Thug's name mentioned? Can you count on one hand? Can you count on two hands? What is it? 5, 3, 7. Why the are we here? Who is on trial here? Because y'all have been saying it. I've been saying it for the past 3 weeks, a month, 6 weeks. It seems like Lil Woody is on trial right now. Especially when it comes to the state and the prosecution, specifically the defense. They focus so much on, hey, was Thug here? Do you see him in this video? What do you actually know about this situation? Were they here? Is this actually a conspiracy? The state seems dead set on picking a fight with this man that they called as a witness. I have no idea what is happening here. It makes no sense.
I'm listening.
Rodney
Do you
says
remember
4
them asking you
times.
about it?
You said, do I remember them asking me about it?
Yes.
I guess.
You catching a Rico for being
And
guilty by
this is the
association?
same
This
gang meeting
is
that
crazy.
you didn't remember me asking you about it or telling me about it. Do you recall that?
You asked me about it?
Yes, and you didn't remember it when I asked you about it.
It's crazy.
What else was it?
An answer. Do you remember not recalling that meeting at all when I asked you about it?
I don't even remember what they asked me about it.
Okay. This gang meeting with Mo, is that the same meeting that you told Detective Thorpe about back in 2015?
I told you, when it came to talking to the detectives, I have to tell them anything to get them out of my face.
And is this the same meeting that you told Detective Dennis and Gaither about back in 2015?
He don't know. Good morning, Pam.
I guess, I don't know.
Okay. And is this the same meeting that occurred after Rich Homie Quan's car was shot at the studio?
Can you say that again?
This gang meeting with Mo, is this the same meeting that occurred after Rich Homie Quan's car was shot up at the music studio?
I don't recall.
I don't know.
Come on, Woody.
And is this the same shooting that Nut was at that studio as well when Rich Homie Quan's car got shot up, correct?
Yeah, ask them. I don't know. I don't know who was at where. I don't know.
Now, last week, do you remember saying that that meeting was about you? This gang meeting was about you. Do you remember saying that?
And who I told it to?
Mr. Steele and Mr. Shard.
It's the way that you ask me the question. You got to ask me the same way they ask me.
Let me ask you this. The meeting about the gang meeting with Mo,
This is crazy, y'all.
that meeting wasn't just about you, correct?
Was it just about me?
Yeah, was it just about you?
The part I know about.
Wasn't this also about Thug? Weren't Thug discussed at this meeting as well?
Finally, we're bringing up Young Thug.
They brought his name up?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Do you remember telling Investigator Thorpe that this meeting was about you and Thug?
I told you, I had to
That's not what he
keep
said.
going to me. When they were questioning me, I was trying to, bring him in it. I mean, like,
I want to play Stacey Exhibit 370 Watt
I don't get it.
78 to YA at 306:35.
I got to listen to it.
Yes, please.
What day is? They said it yesterday, Friday.
It's not playing on this
Yeah,
thing right here.
the meeting,
It's on here, but it's not playing. Oh, the headphone might be broke.
Can you push it? Make sure it's all the way pushed.
It's
in?
already in.
We'll just play it for a little while. Maybe it'll pick up afterwards.
Yeah, all right. Hilton came to fight today.
they said it yesterday, Friday. They had a meeting. The meeting, like it was a blood meeting. And the meeting was about me and Thug. You and Thug. Me and Young Thug. But the whole time, I'm telling them like, what Thug got to do with this, bro? Young Thug with this Thug. Young Thug, the rapper. I'm like, what he got to do with this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to him. Like him. He with you. I'm like, bro, it ain't no beef, bro. Like, I ain't stunning y'all niggas out there. You don't pay me no attention. I'll pay y'all no attention. Nah, listen, man. But there was a guy that was at me. Said that was the guy down the road, Mo. He's supposed to say, kill me and Young Thug. So I asked, I got 10 minutes on my phone. I text my phone like, hey, bro, y'all gonna kill me and Thug? And I put a letter face, like, ha, ha, ha. And he like, bro, what you talking about? Like, ain't that like you can see it? So another guy talking like, ain't that like you said? I'm like, okay, they just lying. He like, yeah. So next thing you know,
I'm gonna stop it at 307:39.
See, this doesn't make sense to me, and I'll let her get her argument across. But Is he a liar or is he not? I mean, what are we doing here? He told you he lied about everything then. He told the defense, yeah, I made that up. That meeting wasn't about Thug. It was about me. And then Max Sharp, excuse me, doubled down on it and said, yeah, Woody, they were mad at you, weren't they? Because everything that happened with Kel, because of the barbershop, because of shooting out the window. And the defense made that abundantly clear. Now we're going back to this saying that he did lie. What are we doing here, man?
Mr. Copeland, you're the person who brought up Thug, correct?
Javier LaFleur said, hey, this is your witness.
Thug, correct?
Get him.
Right, correct.
Matter of fact, he had to clarify who you were talking about, correct?
Yes.
All right. So
Remember how I was telling you that I take a little bit of piece of the truth?
So again, when it has to deal with Thug, that part is a lie. But you being on the plate isn't a lie, but Thug being on the plate is a lie. Is that what you're trying to say?
He said
What I'm
that.
trying to say is, when I was talking to Detective Thornton, I wasn't raised to tell the truth to the police. So, whatever.
He mixed in
If
a
you
little
listen
bit
to
of
what
the
I said
truth
in the
with a lot of
interview-
lies. He said that.
I said, what Thug have to do with this? So if it was about me and Thug, why would I be saying what Thug had to do with it? Shit, I would already know.
Okay. But this is because this was a gang meeting that they were putting you on the plate, correct?
I ain't never been on no plate.
Okay. They wanted to kill you and Thug. That's what you told the detective.
Yes, that's what I told the detective.
Now,
But I lied.
Also, on
What are we missing?
cross-examination, do you recall talking about meetings that you had with the state of Georgia multiple times? Do you remember talking about meetings that you had with Ms. Love, with me, with Investigator Long? Do you remember that?
Yes.
All right. Now, Cross, do you remember Mr. Steele asking you about when I, Ms. Love, met with you at the Fayette County Jail?
Okay.
Right. And do you remember that line of questioning?
If you said the same way he did, I will. I remember him asking about y'all though.
All right. Now, when we met, do you recall it being me, Ms. Love, and actually Investigator Viverito that met with you at the Fayette County Jail?
Which time?
The only time that I ever met you at the Fayette County Jail.
You only came once?
Do you recall me coming to the Fayette County Jail one time to meet with you?
I thought you came more than once.
Okay. Do you remember going to?
I'm telling you what I remember. I thought you came more than once.
That's fine. Do you remember me coming with Ms. Love and Investigator Viverito?
What's your point, lady?
I thought you came with Ms. Love and
And
Ms. Love and Ms. Rolette and Long.
Okay. We'll talk about that meeting because that did happen, but I wasn't there. But we'll talk about that too.
Sustained.
In November, do you remember us meeting in November of 2020?
Get it together, Hilton. And thank you to MH Cassidy. I'll be reading super chats shortly, y'all.
Sure. Do you remember us meeting in November of 2022? Do you remember us meeting in November of 2022?
I remember you down there. We were laughing. Yeah.
Okay. And that was the first time we ever met. Would you agree? When
Yeah.
came-
That was the first time I ever seen you.
Okay. And do you remember I was standing on the back wall because I didn't know who you were.
Yes.
You were standing on a wall over to the side.
I remember you was quiet most of the time.
Okay. And Ms. Love and Investigator Viverito were standing on the other side of you. Do you remember that?
They were sitting by each other, I think.
Yes. And do you remember telling me you don't know me, so you were being very observant of what I would say to you? Do you recall that?
I'm more watching me Burrito.
Okay. And why were you watching Investigator Viverito?
Because she had her phone in her hand, trying to be slick.
And what did you think was happening with the phone in her hand?
Y'all was trying to trick me again.
Okay. And we say trick you again. What do you mean?
Well, not y'all, but the state was trying to trick me again.
Okay. And when we met, did you tell us that you did not want to testify?
I think so.
Yep. And did you told us that you had left all this stuff in the past?
They sound like something I say.
And did you tell us that you were upset because when you needed our help, we didn't help you?
I guess.
Do you remember talking to us about Gaither not helping you out back in 2015?
I guess.
Do you remember telling us that we should have got your testimony back then when you were really willing to help us out?
I guess.
Do you remember talking to Ms. Love about a case that she worked on with one of your friends?
I most definitely do.
Okay.
And she denied it.
All right. And do you remember
She
us
lied
talking
too.
about the fact that you wanted to write a book
No, I told you I wrote a book.
and that you wanted to get it published, correct?
I said I was thinking about it, but I didn't want to put it out because it had too much violence in it.
Okay.
What are we doing
And
here?
is that what you told us? It had too many bodies?
Violence.
Oh, okay.
Judge,
And did you tell us
what
that
are we
you didn't
doing
have a
here?
court date and you were trying to get you a court date?
That's what I said. Yeah, I said y'all would stop me from going to court.
And did we tell you we were going to try to figure out why you didn't have a court date?
Yes.
All right. Isn't it true when we met, we never talked about any details about 2015,
Miss Love tried to.
but we never discussed it, correct?
What you mean?
We never went into details about anything that Little D told you. We never went into details about any of the Club Crucial. We never
don't
went
recall.
into details about the facts of 2015. Isn't that fair?
I'm going to object. This is all testimony. She will not be a witness of what I said. I'm objecting to this entire life.
You're right.
We did becoming a witness.
Overruled.
And speak into your mic also when you're making objections. Thank you. They're out. Shocker. All right, we'll let IT know.
But again, we never discussed the facts of that case when we met with you down at the Fayette County Jail.
I don't know. My only concern was
I don't know her point. She's losing me.
telling y'all that y'all were holding me in jail. So I can't really be specific. I can't recall. You got to tell me what y'all was saying.
Okay. The only thing we talked about was the fact that you did not want to be in Fayette County Jail and you wanted a court date so you can get out of jail. Is that fair?
No, we was in there for a long time.
Right. And we never discussed the facts of the case. Correct?
See, you talking. I think I'm more. I think I'm more talking to Miss Love, and you was just because I just remember you just kept standing there and you trying to act like somebody in the hood. So
Was I just quiet and being myself?
no,
don't
you
know.
acting like somebody I grew up with.
Let's focus on what it is that you're trying to have him clarify.